Are you ready to work toward a healthier future, implement the best strategies for hitting your goals and taking life head on? Damn right you are. I'm your host, Courtney Levesque, and Her Inspired Journey is proud to bring you 10 minutes to better fitness. Get ready, the clock's ticking, and your goals are waiting. What's going on, everybody? It is literally about to kick off. We are starting 10 minutes to better fitness. It's happening right now. Here we go. All right, we are checking audio and I'm not even connected. This is real life, folks. Sometimes that happens. All right, now we are checking audio and it sounds like we are rolling. All right. I'm stoked. I'm so stoked right now because we are taking the Her Inspired Journey podcast to a whole nother level and increasing our reach to different women and to different people who are excited about living a good life and following their dreams and pursuing things that they're super excited and happy about. And so today, welcome to 10 Minutes to Better Fitness. We are talking about how to manage the holidays and overcome the expectation and the temptations. And there's just so much that goes into this time of year. I think there's so much pressure that builds up. We're all starting to look at the end of the year and what we accomplished or what we didn't accomplish. And it can get really ugly. It can just feel not good to, get to the end of a year and of a decade and go like, well, gosh, I don't know that I love where I am. And I know for a lot of people, even if the milestones and the benchmarks that you're hitting aren't huge, you are making progress. And I think this is one of the most pivotal times to oversee that you are doing really good things because you're looking at this big picture instead of all of those things that you've accomplished over time. So we're going to start these 10 minutes to better fitness right now by talking about managing the holidays, the endless temptations, and all the stuff that goes in between. The very first thing I want to say about this time of year is, from Thanksgiving to Christmas and then into New Year's, there's so many opportunities for a variation of crap and garbage and junk food and overindulging and overeating that we just don't typically do. And even if you're somebody that kind of goes through this ebb and flow of staying on track with nutrition, but then you kind of fall off the wagon, it's really easy to use this time of year as it's the holidays. And the problem with that is there's this justification. And if we start to just go, it's the holidays, so I'm just going to kind of overindulge and oversplurge, it just kind of, this snowball just creates and rolls it and starts to just feel really overwhelming. And then before you know it, you're like, well, hell, now we're going into a brand new year and I feel like crap. I'm not where I want to be. So I want you to think about, instead of trying to just resist all these temptations and then beat yourself up if you're not doing it just right, I want you to think about doing the best you can. So instead of, I'm not going to eat any of the sweets, I'm not going to eat any of the garbage, I'm going to moderate my portions, which is a good idea, but if you can't, or if you're having a really hard time with that, I want you to try to focus on a few different things. Instead of saying, I can't have any sweets, or I can't have any of the homemade bread or rolls, I want you to think about just having some of it. Now, I think the key to doing this successfully is to stay very conscious and present mind with your food. I also think we live in a day and age where it's very easy to be distracted, whether that's, in person socially or on social media or catching up on emails. It's really easy to, have those foods and to be in the moment. And then next thing you know, you are way overindulging and there's way, way too much. And then this guilt kind of spiral happens. So instead of trying to not let any of that happen, just let some of it happen and stay very present mind that if you're going to indulge and have a roll, freaking enjoy that roll. Sit there and think about how much you enjoy it, but let there be an end to it. The other thing I want you to focus on right now, and I know it's easy, especially when, you might just be having your family favorites this one time of year to go to sugar, to go to carbohydrates, focus on adding in protein. So your body can still get what it needs to build your muscle, to keep and maintain that muscle mass that you have, because in addition to adding these extra things, it might also be an easy time for us to start to lose that, earned muscle mass. And in doing so, our metabolism decreases, which makes this added surplus of calories even harder for us to process and deal with. It'll get stored as fat. We don't want that. Also think about having this 80-20 rule. So the majority of your meals and the majority of the things that you eat should definitely be good choices. But it's okay to slip up and have some wine, or go meet friends and have, a burger and a beer, or indulge in those sweet temptations that you might normally, be enticed to have. Just think about doing a good job 80% of the time, and then throwing in the other stuff about 20% of the time, just to maintain some balance, over this holiday season. The other thing I want to say is, since you already are experiencing this surplus of calories, this is a freaking awesome time to hit the gym and to start a training regimen. And, instead of, sometimes people want to focus this time of year on really putting the pressure on to not eat a bunch of things, to not overindulge, to not splurge on these different, items. Instead of making it the pressure to not do those things, add one extra thing: gym time. We're talking about lifting weights and, increasing your muscle mass, which overall, the more muscle you have, the more calories your body needs in a day to do basic functions, to walk, breathe, eat, digest food, sleep, all those things. Your body needs calories to do that. If you already have that surplus right now, the best thing you can do, instead of beating yourself up again and again about how much you're eating, is to put it to work. You can just start going on daily walks, or start a gym membership. There's always deals on gym memberships this time of year. And I don't say that as somebody who loves to go to the gym, but there is a place for that. Lifting weights. This is an excellent time to be lifting weights, because you can use those calories to build muscle. Now, you might be in a bunch of sweatshirts like I am right now, or you're under a bunch of layers, and so you can kind of disguise that fluff feeling or that bulkier, bigger feeling right now. But instead of just trying to disguise it, use those calories to burn them off, right? The calories in and calories out are your biggest determining factor, not even the quality of the food you eat, but what comes in and what gets expended. That's going to determine what kind of weight you gain, if any. So instead of worrying so much about how many calories are coming in, make your focus on the calories going out. So work to increase your overall expenditure throughout the day with simple things like parking farther away. If the weather's crappy, that might be harder for you to want to do. Getting more steps. If you have a watch that tracks your steps, it's maybe not the most accurate, and that's something I get asked a lot, is that pedometer very accurate? Are those step counts accurate? Maybe not, but I guarantee you, if you are like me most days, sitting behind a desk and you look down and you say, gosh, I only have 3,700 steps in today, you're probably gonna want to get a few more in. So just do things, it can even be housework throughout the day, or it can be taking 5-minute breaks at the office to go on a walk or to do some squats. Anything that can increase your expenditure throughout the course of a day is really going to help you in maintaining your weight during this season. I also want you to think about drinking enough water. This is a really easy time for people to get dehydrated. I know even sometimes people that don't drink often are finding themselves having a few more alcoholic beverages right now. So make sure that you're drinking enough water, and you want to aim, like, this is the basic of what you want to do, half of your body weight in ounces a day in water. All of those things combined are going to be very easy ways for you to burn more calories throughout the day and make your focus not on what you're eating, but what you're putting out. I hope these tips help you today, and I'm so glad we're sitting down to do this. Make sure you put this to work. You'll be really glad that you did. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the podcast today and for joining us on the YouTube channel. I want to encourage you right now to go ahead and subscribe to the show and follow us on social. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at Her Inspired Journey.